Why is Africa the way it is? What is beautiful about Africa? But the truth is, Africa is not poor. The people of Africa are not poor. If you are African, I want you to know that we are all responsible to investing in ourselves, in human capital. What is it that you think you can do to help your continent? But we have been set free from everything, first of all, by Jesus Christ, before you think of these whatever colonies that colonized you. Remember the commandments that we were given, to love neighbors as you love yourself. These people are trying their very best in doing that. I tell you the truth. I certainly believe that Africa could be one of the most wealthiest continents on earth, if and only if we work on our mindset. Why do I believe that? Let's find out. First of all, I want you to know that this is a content coming from a pure African. Born and raised in Tanzania, on the east part of Africa. So yes, I can tell you about Africa because I was born and raised there. That's not the point though. The point is, why is Africa the way it is? Why? When we have everything, possibly everything has been given to us, why are we the way we are? Maybe that is a question that I still do not have answers yet. Even though I think there's some factors that are leading to the situation or condition that we have in Africa, of which I'm going to share today with you in this video. But if you have some sorts of answers that can help us understand why is Africa the way it is, and in almost every aspect of life, share with us in the comment section. But before I start sharing or speaking of what I think is not right for Africa, even though I believe that we could do better, I want us to highlight what is beautiful about Africa. Look, Africa is still the best continent that I love, and I think I will forever love. Africa is just beautiful in and out. There are just some few things, and there are really few, that just few challenges that actually are turning Africa to be the worst place to live, to be the poorest continent. Not just to seem, but the truth is Africa is not poor. The people of Africa are not poor. It's just that there's some ways that we have allowed ourselves to be introduced, simply because we do not want to speak for ourselves, simply because we do not want to accept who we are, simply because there's some people or some other continents that has structured us and has defined us, and they have provided a guide of how Africa should be seen, interpreted, and understood. But the truth is, we are not what many people think we are, even though we have seemed to be what has been written about us. But in this video today, I just want to encourage you, or whoever is watching this, to rewrite what they know about Africa. And even after I say that, by rewriting of what you know about Africa, so the actual aim of this video today is to encourage my brother and sister, the African brother and sister, that we should change what we have been told about our very own continent. Even though we agree and accept that we still have the ups and downs, lots of them, economically, educationally, politically, in almost every sector. But I want you to know that there's something that me and you can do towards that. And that's exactly what I'm going to share today in this video. My name is Jennifer K.O. If this is your first time here, thank you so very much for choosing to be here. And I believe that you will watch all the previous videos. Give us a like if you like them, and subscribe to our channel. By doing that, you will help me reach more audiences, and yes, definitely you'll be encouraging me to create more contents like this. Thank you so much, and let's get back to our topic. So yes, it's very possible for Africa to become one of the most wealthiest continents on earth, through various factors like economical growth, infrastructure development, and investment in human capital. I believe if we tackle into these areas, but most importantly, investing in human capital, only just that, can eradicate the poverty by a huge percentage in Africa by just simply investing in human capital. And I think, honestly, I completely have no understanding about politics. And I think it's just because I really do not understand politics. So I cannot speak about that. I'm not the right person to speak about that. I will not speak of any other. I want us to speak about human capital, investing in human capital, because I believe that this is something that not only the government should be responsible, but even as ourselves, because we are all human, right? If you are African, I want you to know that we are all responsible to investing in ourselves, in human capital. That is investing in our knowledge, in our personal growth and personal development. Because when we grow ourselves better, that means we are equipping ourselves to tackle every situation that is coming along the way. And that's the only part that I'm going to speak about. So let's leave the other factors for the politicians. If you know any that is happy to come and sit on this podcast and share with us, just let me know in the comment section below. I can try find them if they are willing to come and speak about that, but let's just set those apart. I want us to deal in the human capital because it's the only thing that me and you can do. Because yes, most of the time we spend a lot of hours complaining about Africa. There is no safety, there is no freedom, there is no whatever. But what is it that is in our capacity for me and you to do towards the growth of Africa? Let's speak about that. What is it that you think you can do to help your continent? Or let's just come down to our countries. I come from Tanzania. So whichever country that you're coming from, what do you think that you can do to help your country grow? What is that change that you think you can possibly bring? What is the difference that you think you can make? What is the impact that you can bring towards your country's growth? Share with us in the comment section below. As for me, at least here I am. I'm trying to encourage us all to just sit and talk about this and discuss what we can do. And I believe even through this video, we might come up with an action plan or something that can, steer up and set an action. This is the aim and the goal. There is one thing that I know about as Africans. First of all, there's something about our attitude and mindset. And I believe this is the most powerful thing that is still blinding us to what we believe to be success and achievement and growth in life. Even though I know that there's some other complex and systematic issues at play in Africa's development, but at least one thing I'm so sure of, that mindset and attitude towards life, success and growth is actually what is holding us back. I so much believe that these issues of the mindset and attitudes has been highly impacted by these two factors, religion and spirituality. Why do I say that? There is a way that Africa believes or perceive about what is religion and spirituality, and the way we have chose to practice that. We have not accepted in many ways. We have not opened ourselves to go beyond on what we have been told. I mean, we haven't practiced to find ourselves. What is the true meaning of religion and spirituality? What it is. But acting upon what we have been given like a guidance of what is religion and how it should be done or conducted. And if you have now observant enough, if you check even now on social medias, many people are trying to come with this, say that it's just because of the religion we are the way we are. Because these people, that it's because of the Western people had to use the religion gear to dominate Africa. But I want you to know that we all have been set free. Not just only from the colonies or those colonized countries that colonized us, but we have been set free from everything. First of all, by Jesus Christ, before you think of these whatever colonies that colonized you. So we have been set free. Do we even understand what does that mean? Even though I know we are the people that spend most of hours in church praying and doing all that, but do we truly know the act? Do we really know what we are doing, or we are just doing it just as a formal way that we have been taught about religion? On the other hand, we spend so much time blaming that these people that brought religion and whatever, they do not practice. But I want you to know, these people, I think they are practicing religion more than what we're thinking or what we think. Only through their actions. Remember the commandments that we were given to love neighbors as you love yourself. These people are trying their very best in doing that. I tell you the truth. I see how they have high level of self-discipline. I know many of you will say, Jennifer, this is not our fault. It's the fault of government. Okay, I want you to tell me, who are the government? Are they aliens or people? If they're people like me and you, that means we need to bring the moral values that we have, that we get from our religion and religious practice, and build them. The problem is that despite that the moral values that we have and we have benefited from religious practices, we are not applying them in our everyday life, in every areas of our lives. That's why we do not have discipline, self-discipline. We are not responsible for our actions. So it's like there's a place of where we truly be the people that we need to be. And then where we are in areas of religion and religious practices, there's how we behave. But what we need to know that we're supposed to behave same way, whether we're in religious practices, whether we are acting normal, whether we are at our workplaces, we still need to be honesty. We still need to be accountable. We still need to be loving. We still need to be caring, both in church and outside. It just has to be our normal habit, our daily attitude. This is what is failing us, Africa. The mindset that we have. We believe that God is in that building. No, God is everywhere. God follows us everywhere. If we check the actions of these people, they will tell you a lot about themselves. You will actually realize why we are seeing them achieving, progressing more than Africa. Africa with the people that spend most of the time in church. But I tell you, we are the people that are done so dark stuff. Sometimes even we use the churches behind so we can do the dark stuff behind the name of church. The only reason we are doing that because we do not even know the God we worship. We do not know. That's the reason. It's very important because it is only the Holy Spirit that truly changes the heart of man. It is the Holy Spirit himself. It might be a reason that we have been set that way, but there is a reason why we have been set in that manner. There is. Most of the time we tend to confuse about prayer. If we speak about everybody, whenever there's a problem, the first thing they tell you, not only first thing, the first and last, they say, you know what, the only way to do here is to pray and we see what God will do. It's a wonderful statement, but I doubt you have that faith. I doubt it. I believe you're just saying it because everybody has been saying that. Don't worry about it. Let's just see what God can do. We cannot change this government. You know, the government is so bad, it's so poor. Actually, it's the all countries of Africa. All of them. But I want you to know that it's bad because that those people just like me and you, tomorrow we might be running. And when we are sitting in that presidential seat, we are also going to be called government. Or in any area. If you are politics and you desire to be politician, just start checking yourself. Because I believe the way we spend time worshiping God, praying in Africa, and truly we have been blessed because guess what? We are still living in a continent that is still allowing us. It's like giving us a room even to call him more. And I believe God is doing that because he knows how much we're still needing him so badly. I believe that he wished to do so many things for us. But how do we approach him? Is it by being sent in a church and being someone else on the outside, at our workplaces? Start looking at yourself. Let me tell you something. We always complain about corruption in Africa. But if you know you have a position somewhere, I want you to tell me how have you been using or standing on that position? Have you collected corruption from someone else? What made you do that? Because if you have the fear of God, truly you will not do. If you have the Spirit of God inside you, you will not do that. The people that are coming in hospitals needing that help, and then you're looking at them just because your boss is not around. You're passing someone that is lying down there just because your boss is not around to see you and call you to order. Tell me, why do you go to church on Sunday? Why? How can you present yourself to God when there's some few acts in your position that God has entrusted you? The people that God has entrusted you with, you are doing not God is. We are not trying. We are not living the character of who God is. Because we are so good in saying God created us in image. Africa, we are blessed. We are blessed, but we cry every day. God does not want that for us. And I'm not saying that the being successful doesn't mean there's no struggle and challenges in life. There is. But to what extent? Is it to the whole continent? No. We're supposed to be some sorts of safety and comfort in our continent. The other day I watched, actually it was 2 days ago, I watched one video clip. 2 people that pretended, there were 2 guys that claimed to be police officers. Actually there were 3 guys in my country, wanted to kidnap a business owner, someone who works hard, someone who's contributing to the economic growth of the nation, but they're trying to kidnap and using the cover of calling themselves police. So imagine that. And I watched that video. It was terrifying. I couldn't believe that such thing was happening. It wasn't happening in a hidden place. It was just during the day. People are moving around. People are standing around. Young children coming from school, walking around. And I couldn't digest that. I couldn't believe what I saw. It pained me so much. Well, I believe even though this is about the government, but the people that were standing there, honestly, you failed even to do something, even to scream, make noise, go somewhere, say something. But we have gotten to that stage of where people are using the name of being police, the cards of being whoever, to threaten the freedom of other people that hasn't done nothing. That is our attitude. That is not even political something. It's just our attitude. There's no sense of love within us. There's no sense of fear. There's no sense of caring. Most of the time we pretend, but we are really not. Let's come back to prayers. To everybody that you are thinking that your prayers, praying Monday to Sunday, will change your situation. I doubt if you have that faith, because I do not think you have. If you know what true faith is, the faith is the belief. That belief, when it's joined with the action, that is what produces results. But if there's no action in your faith, you're just wasting time. I do not want us to continue to confuse this. Prayer gives us the strength to overcome, but we need to act so we can overcome. Look, prayer gives us the strength. Prayer is like equips us, energizes us to be ready to take action. But the action is really what takes us from that situation. Prayer is very important because it works in a spiritual level. Because if you understand this, there's so many Bible verses here. Remember, your strength is not in your own. That's why you need prayer, so you can be strengthened. That's why it said prayer gives us only strength. But you need to act so you can overcome that situation. Let's work with this mindset that the strength that is from above that we receive only through prayer. But the act is us by using our physical body. That's why we act. And then when we act is when the changes comes. Let's all be intentional.